And then he became a free agent. And then before you know it, he was signing on with the Indianapolis Colts. And you're saying to yourself, that's a good depth piece. He'd be a good guy to go right behind Anthony Richardson with a top pick, obviously, a very well thought of prospect in the NFL. This makes perfect sense. Until yesterday, when Daniel Jones was named the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. And it was done in a way that would make Anthony Richardson have every reason in the world to think to himself, what in the name of holy gobsmackers just happened? Because the coach of the Indianapolis Colts was very clear about something. This is not about naming a week one starter. What the Indianapolis Colts have done is they have named a starter for the entire season. And what he said was that I'm not really focused on the results of week one or on missed passes. It is critical for Daniel Jones to have the rope, the flexibility, the runway to be Daniel Jones, because he's going to be our quarterback. He's given us the best chance to win the 2 games that we're supposed to win this year. And don't you forget it, that when he has a bad game, don't come running to me thinking I'm going to make a switch to Anthony Richardson. I'm not going to do it. So, does that make sense to you? Does it make sense in any way that you would have Daniel Jones starting over Anthony Richardson? What do you think the media did? Like immediately, they went right to Anthony Richardson. And I tip my cap to you, AR. Here's what he said. No hard feelings. It's never personal. He was close. I can't let me not being the starter stop me from growing to be the person and player that I'm supposed to be. I just got to stay focused and keep grinding. Remember, this guy, Anthony Richardson, was the 4th overall pick in 2023. The guy is at a hard time staying healthy. He doesn't play a lot of games. He doesn't play a lot of games in a row. It's impossible to have consistency with him under center, over center, by center, side center. So Daniel Jones, in theory, man of steel, is going to be there and be able to perform admirably, in a mediocre way at best. Do you think that the quarterback situation has been handled in Indianapolis? Well, if you're Anthony Richards' agent, you are less than happy. Anthony Richards' agent, who is a nobody in terms of agents in the NFL, he decided, I called him Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, thank you. I forgot the last syllable. Anthony Richardson's agent has made this situation incredibly difficult and complicated by coming out and saying trust is a big factor, and that is at best questionable right now when asked about Richardson's benching. Anthony came back and made the improvements in the areas he needed to improve, and by all accounts, he had a great camp. Do you think Anthony Richardson's agent is speaking on behalf of Anthony Richardson? Do you think that they had a plan in place where AR himself would be very good, quote, take the high road, but really he was angry, frustrated, and generally PO'd? So he had his agent come out, because who cares what the agent says, and come out and say, hey, there's a big problem now between AR and the front office of the Colts. Do you think that it's possible that players and agents conspire to come up with a plan where the player doesn't look bad to the fans and looks like a good teammate inside his clubhouse, but that the agent carries the water of negativity and makes it clear that there's a trade that's going to be demanded, or there's some sort of activity or action that needs to be taken in order to make this right? You bet your bananas it does. You do not see a player and an agent with opposite statements that aren't fully coordinated, unless the next day you see a player with an announcement that they've moved on from that agent. You are not allowed to take a position against your player as an agent unless it's for the sole purpose of actually getting more money, more playing time, a positional change, a trade, whatever the case is. If you and your player are not saying the same thing, it's a dance. The Colts cannot be swept up in this dance. They have to have conviction over the decision they made. The most important thing that you need to look out for before you call the Indianapolis Colts a joke of a franchise is that they are actually playing Daniel Jones week in, week out, and short of injury, he stays the quarterback. If he goes 12 for 26 week one with 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions, and everyone stands up and says we'd have a much better chance of winning with AR, and then they make a quarterback change early, then you know that everyone's full of manure. And that's not what you want to be, especially when you're running the team for the first time after your father died, and there's a group of 3 children who are running this team top to bottom, from marketing to PR to sales to presidency. They are going to do everything they can to appear professional and allow the lack of professionalism to simply live with the agents. Because I can spin what that agent said if I'm a team president, and I don't care if I know that he's on the same page as his player. I still have the ability to spin that to the media and to other players inside the clubhouse saying, there's an agent you want no part of. Because if you think that the strategy of divide and conquer is going to work on us making a decision on our quarterback play, then you are delusional. You don't realize that we don't react to the things that you say, and it only makes you look like a fool. This story isn't over.